Hi, Gene Burnett from geneburnett.com. I thought we'd talk today a little bit about something that I call digital disconnect. I know we think of the digital world and the internet and everything connecting us with each other, and I know it does. It connects us to all kinds of things. But at the same time, I also think it disconnects us from a lot of things as well. Let me backtrack a little bit and explain. I was born in 1957, so for most of my life, the only computer in my life, the main computer, was here between my head, between my ears and my own head. And if I wanted to learn something and really feel like I knew it, I had to take it in and I had to keep it. I had to keep it in here. Yes, there were books, and I had knowledge in books, and it's good to have books, and I like reference books and stuff, but if you don't have the book with you, you don't really have the knowledge. You have to go get the book. So I kind of grew up thinking in terms of what I could, what I knew is what I actually knew. Today, with our handhelds and our computers and the internet and everything, we have all this knowledge and all this wisdom and all these pictures and all these movies and all this stuff at our disposal, but do we really have it? Do we really know it? If we don't have the computer, on our person or nearby. To give you an example, when I record my music, I don't have a lot of money. My records are simple, but I don't have a lot of money, and I need to do take ones or take twos on most of my songs. So what I'll do is I'll bring the lyrics in, lyric sheets in, and set them on a music stand in front of me when I'm singing, so just to prevent me messing up the lyrics and having to start over, which just costs more money. So when I have the lyric there in front of me and I'm looking at that sheet, I have to kind of disconnect my brain or myself from the file in my brain that knows those lyrics. I can't do both. I can't rely on my memory file and look at my external memory file, in a sense, that piece of paper. So when I'm looking at that sheet singing, if the lyric's wrong on the sheet, I'll probably just sing the wrong lyric. I might notice it in time, but usually not, and I'll have to correct the lyric and start again. My brain gets kind of disconnected, so I don't really know the song in that interval. I have to have that lyric sheet there because I'm doing that. So I can't really do both. I can't access my own file and read that lyric at the same time. So what I think is that increasingly we are dependent on these computers and these handhelds for our information. And in a sense, we have all these lyric sheets for all of the songs that we deal with in life, and our brains are getting lazy. They're good at surfing the surface, and you can do some wonderful things on the internet with the surface. You can look at 1,000 million things all over the world. You can see videos of daily life in Moscow or China or Argentina, or you can look at sporting events or music events or things all over the world, and it's great. I'm not knocking it. I do it myself. I'm an independent musician in Southern Oregon and a Tai Chi teacher, and I've been able to share my videos with the world essentially by posting them here on YouTube. We're on a computer right now, so I'm not knocking computers. I'm just saying that there's something a little out of balance when we use them for so many things, and our own independent brains are maybe getting lazy and don't really have that connection anymore to our own thinking and our own knowledge. Also, the computer world creates a kind of self-importance and narcissism in that it's always asking you to rate things, thumbs up or thumbs down. Your opinion is so important. You are the center of the universe. You're this little CEO of your enterprise. You've got your phone, you've got your website, you've got your YouTube page or your Facebook page, and you're kind of managing a little empire. And again, I do that too, and it's not something I knock. It's just that I think there needs to be a balance. I think people get so self-important and so disconnected from the actual world. I see people walking around with these phones while they're walking across the street, while they're biking, skateboarding, driving a car. They're not paying attention to the physical world, the surroundings, things around them. We had a woman right here in our town walking across the street on a cell phone, got hit by a car and killed, and we had to put special lights up and paint the street and have a special guard crossing thing going on. But really it was because she was on the phone. I mean, I feel sorry for her and her family, but she was on the phone walking across a street, and that's why she was killed. It wasn't a driver negligence thing. So this is the world that we're adapted to live in for millions of years, and we're increasingly turning to this, and I think there's a loss there. I think we can skate the surface and we can do all kinds of cool things on the surface, but our attention spans are getting shorter, and depth, I think, is what's missing. The kind of pleasure that comes from sustained focus, from sustained interest and sustained attention. We want things to change and be entertaining, quick, fast, go to this, go to that. Things that require more depth and more space, I think, are perhaps getting lost because of the amount of speed and attention that we have on this quick-paced, internet world. So I'm looking in my life for things to balance that with. I like skimming the surface. I like looking around. I post pictures online all the time. I take pictures of my office, my dojo, my outdoor office, which is the bandshell here in Ashland, Oregon, the Lithia Park bandshell where I teach. I take pictures of all kinds of things, but I'm really just taking the surface of the thing and showing it to you or to whoever looks at it, which is nice, but it's not the experience of really being there, the three-dimensional flesh and blood breathing experience of looking at people in the face and seeing what they're thinking and feeling, or being in the park and seeing the wind and the trees and the rain and feeling what it's like to really be there. So I look for things that I call sort of antidotes to this digital disconnect to my sort of less important place in the world, disconnect from the realities of the physical world, and disconnect from my own wisdom, my own thinking. So some things that I recommend, if you don't already have one, is some kind of a physical practice that is not digital. A simple thing to do is just to take a walk without your phone, like leave the phone at home. I don't mean have it in your pocket turned off, because if it's in the pocket turned off, you're still available. You're not alone, you're available, and you're also, you know that should you need the information or need to check something, it's there. I mean, be alone, be without that phone, and just walk around and take in the world. Listening to music that's longer than 3 minutes, and not talking or doing something else, actually listening to it. The other night I was at an open mic, and this young guy was trying to convince me, essentially, that he could talk and listen to music at the same time, that he could actually listen and talk at the same time. I mean, I was hosting an open mic, and this guy was talking really loud to his friends, and I could hear him 30 feet away. And the musician was only 7 or 8 feet away. And I walked over to him, since he was on the list, at the open mic, and I said, hey, do you want us to listen to you when it's your turn to play? And he was like, yeah. And I go, well, how about you listen to this guy when it's his turn to play? And he was just adamant. I was listening. Dude, I was totally listening. I gave a shout out, man. I told him he was, And it was clear that he was equating hearing with listening. Like he could hear it, but he thought that was listening. I mean, he was talking so loud, I could hear him 30 feet away, and he thought he was listening to that music. So listening is not talking. It's not the same thing. So another thing, obviously, that I like to practice is Tai Chi, because it slows me down and makes me focus on my body and my breathing and the sequence of energy and movement in my body. That's a great antidote. It's also an antidote to that narcissism and that self-importance, because when you do something like Tai Chi, you start maybe the way I do it with bone level. You correct your posture and you put yourself in the right place. You have a certain amount of control. But then when you go to muscle level and start to soften and relax and find the least wasteful way to move, you're in less control. You can ask a muscle to relax, but maybe it will today and maybe it won't. When you go to the energy level and start looking at your joints and suspending your joints and your breath and your intent, you're even less in control. You're much more co-creating this form with the body you have right now, gravity, the surface. Perhaps you have an opponent or a partner. You're working with things that are not in your control. You're much more surfing than you are sort of making waves. When you get to the spirit level of this and you're just sort of opening yourself up to being one with maybe life's intent rather than your intent, trying to be sort of one with what you're doing, you're in no control at all. You can't have control, because if there's a you in control, you're not doing it. So Tai Chi is a great antidote to the digital disconnect. partner dancing, any kind of partner dancing, contact improvisation, tango, which my wife Samara teaches, ballroom, swing, anything where you're with a partner and you can't be on the phone, you can't be texting, you can't be managing your little empire. You have to be listening to another flesh and blood person, because if you don't listen, you're out of the dance and it doesn't work anymore. You have to really pay attention in partner dancing to something other than yourself, to yourself plus another person, and that blend is out of your control. It's not something you can just press a button and change. You have to listen, and you have to be three-dimensional, and you have to be in the world really doing it. So those are some great antidotes and things that I use to balance off my online time. I don't plan on ever getting a cell phone unless it's the only phone I can get. And if I do, it's going to live right here on my desk, and I'm very rarely going to take it out of my house, because I like being offline. I like being unreachable. I like being alone and offline, out in the world, taking in the physical world. So I'm not knocking it necessarily. I'm just thinking that for more and more people that I see around me anyway, some balance is needed, some physical practice to balance off all this digital stuff. So anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of thing, I do Tai Chi videos regularly, and I do music videos, a lot of music videos, and some nature videos. Subscribe to my channel if you're interested in that stuff, or visit my website for more information about what I do. And have a great day, and hopefully spend some time offline today. All right, thanks a lot.